Greetings, friend. I found a Christmas Sudoku so irresistible that once you start solving it, you'll not be able to stop until you get to the tricky part. But don't worry, I'll show you how to get past that too. Click below if you want to give this puzzle a go. And with that, it's solving time. Notice how this 5 and 1 cut right through block 5. That means a 5 and 1 can only be in these two spots. Whenever you have two candidates limited to the same two spots and they block out all the other candidates, that's called a hidden pair. And I'm going to do some Christmas green and red throughout this video. And so a hidden pair means that no other candidates can be in those two spots because you have nowhere else to put the 1 and the 5. The next three candidates here, this 3, 7, 9, are now a naked triple, and they're also a locked triple because they're within the block and within row 5. We can remove the 9 from right here, remove the 7 from right there, we can remove the 3 from right there. You may notice here you have these two 4s allow us to solve for 4 right here because you already have the 4 in column 2. And then we can move on to do a little bit more solving. What you're going to find irresistible is like, well, hey, I just solved this 4. What can I do with that? You got these two 4s and this 4 means this cell has to be a 4. And with these two 4s and this 4, this cell has to be a 4. With these two 4s and this 4, you got a 4 right here. And with these two 4s and these two, solve for 4 right there. All very quick. Okay, after we do all those 4s, you'll notice that you got the 1, 5 here, which is a hidden pair, but it's also a pointing pair. A 1 cannot be in these spots anymore because they have to be in one of those spots. This 9 cuts down as well. And so now the 9 and the 1 are limited to these two spots. So you have another hidden pair. I'll make that Christmas red, which means the last two digits, 2 and 7, have to share these two spots. Okay, so we'll do a little red, do a little green here. And so what's nice about this 2, 7, I told you like a 1, 5, the 1 acts as a pointing pair. Well, the same thing here. These 7s act as a pointing pair. Hidden pairs and naked pairs also act as pointing pairs. And I'm saying pointing, that means a 7 cannot be anywhere else now along column 5. So this 7 is gone. And now we know we can solve that cell for a 3. We can solve this for a 9, and we can solve that for a 7. Okay, let's get some of these out of the way. Ashish Kumar is a world-class setter and a solver. He has his own channel, Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. We've collaborated before. I even put some videos on his channel. He's got one on mine. You definitely need to check out Unshackling Sudoku. Okay, let's see here. This 9 means now this cell has to be a 1, and this cell is a 9. We can do better than that. You come up, column 6. We have 7 candidates filled in. We have 2 missing, a 2 and a 3. Well, I got a 3 right there. So that's got to be your 2. That's got to be your 3. And now with the 1, 5 hidden pair, the 2, 7 naked pair, this is going to be a 6, 8. And then there's only 2 candidates remaining, a 1 and a 5 in column 4. So far we've knocked through most of the middle of this puzzle. And once you do that, now you're going to go, okay, what else can I solve? And it gets kind of easy to find what to solve next. Let's look at these 3s. I got a 3 in row 7, a 3 in row 9. I got this 3. Only place to solve for a 3 is right here. And now with this 3 and this 3, solve for a 3 here in block 6. With these 2 3s and this 3, solve for a 3 here in block 4. And these 2 3s and these 2 3s, we can solve for a 3 here in block 1. And we've taken care of all of the 3s. It's time to do a little Christmas trimming before we get to the trickiest part of the puzzle that I talked about. Okay, we want to do a little bit of Snyder notation to find some single candidate type eliminations for us. So first, let's look at these 1s. You have this 1 coming down, column 7. You got this 1 cutting across row 7. Only 2 possibilities for a 1. And what I just did is called Snyder notation. Anytime in a 3 by 3 block, 2 possibilities for a candidate. You want to mark it. In case you solve one of these cells, you can solve the other one right away. Another function of Snyder, if they're in the same row like this, then the 1s will point across all the way across this row. You cannot have a 1 in any other of these cells. The reason being is if you try to put a 1 over here, you'd have no place to put a 1 in block 9. And so it restricts the 1s now to these 2 cells in block 7. Okay, after doing the 1s, we want to look at the 5s. You got this 5 cutting across. You have this 5 coming up the column. So the 5s are limited to these 2 spots here in block 6, and they're also a pointing pair. So 5s cannot be here anymore. They're restricted to these 3 cells. I don't mark 3 cell with Snyder notation because I'm so used to, if I solve one of these, solve the other one right away. So we'll just know you can't put 5s here because of these 5s and this 5. We can also do a couple 5s here in block 7 because of that 5 and these 2. And if we move on, I'm not going to cover the 6s because there's no Snyder marks. The 7s I'm going to come back to because I want to do this first. The 8s, these 2 8s mean there's only 2 spots for an 8 in block 7. And then with the 9s, we got another pointing pair going on. This 9 cuts across row 5. This comes down column 3. 2 spots for a 9. And they're a pointing pair because they're in the same row and the same block. So no 9s can be there. This 9 means no 9s can be there. 2 spots for a 9 in block 6. So we did all our Christmas rimming. And now let's get back to those 7s. I want you to look across row 7. This is really neat, and I'm so happy to show this to you. If you notice, where can a 7 be in row 7? It can be in these 3 cells. And I'll do a little Christmas green. Not a big deal, right? Until you realize that this 7 cuts up column 2. This 7 cuts across row 2. There's only 2 places for 7 in block 1. And these 7s are a pointing pair because they're in the same column. So that means this cell can no longer be a 7. You're like, Timberlake, well, that's not a big deal. So what? Well, what it means is the 7s are limited in row 7 to the same block, block 9. And whenever you have this situation where 2 cans are limited to the same block, that's called a claiming pair. And by claiming pair, that means that the 7s have to be somewhere in row 7. They're limited to block 9. And so these are the only 2 places you can have a 7 in all of block 9. We can eliminate 7s from these 3 spots. I actually cover claiming pairs in my latest reward puzzle pack. You just have to join the Smarty Party by clicking on the pinned comment below if you want to get that pack. If you want to become a super smarty, I'll put your name in every video. Now, I'm going to show you the next trick. This claiming pair, as amazing as it was, is just setting you up for the next cool trick. It actually involves 3 connected strategies. And if you like this next trick I'm going to show you, like and share this puzzle with someone you think will find it irresistible as well. Since the 7 can no longer be in these cells, this cannot contain a 7. What can be right here? Well, it can't be a 1. It could be a 2, but it can't be a 3, 4, 5, 6. It can no longer be a 7 or an 8. This has to be a 2 or a 9. And now if we look up here in row 6, what could this cell be? Well, it can't be a 1. It could be a 2, but it can't be a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or an 8. This is also a 2 or a 9. And it's time for our Christmas red. This is a naked pair. Whenever the same 2 candidates are limited to 2 cells and no other candidates can be there, that's a naked pair. What it means is 2 and 9 cannot be anywhere else in column 7 because one of them's got to be in one of the red cells, the other one has to be in the other red cell. And so this restricts these 3 cells to a 6, 7, or an 8 because we already have the 1, 3, 4, 5, and we have the 2, 9. You have a 7 right here. Remove this 7. And you're like, okay, Timberlake, what's the big deal? Hopefully you just see what the big deal is. You now have a 6, 8 naked pair in row 2, and I'll make that the Christmas green. Awesome. And so now you have a 3, 4, 6, 7, 8 that are taking up 5 spots in row 2. I love how Ashish did this. And let's go back. I don't want to cover those 6 and 8 there. All right, 1, 2, 5, and 9. We know that this can't be a 5 or a 9, and this can't not be a 9. Okay, we go to this cell right here because you're probably wondering, Timberlake, what's the big deal? I said there's 3 connected strategies. We just found 2 naked pairs. Can we find a third? Let's work down column 3 right here. What could this be? It can be a 1 or a 2. Can't be a 3. Cannot be a 4. Cannot be a 5, 6, 7, 8, or a 9. We have our third naked pair. All right, I'm going to go with the red again. Hopefully it didn't confuse you too much. this is a connected naked pair. That's a naked pair. There's another naked pair. Awesome. What does that mean for our wonderful puzzle? It means we can make more eliminations of 1s and 2s down column 3. I cover more naked pair eliminations in my double cell combo tutorial. And so what we have left here would be a 6, 7, or an 8 to finish column 3. However, I'm going to show you my neat naked triple trick to make this so much easier. I don't even have to make any marks. You notice I have a 6 and an 8 in row 8, and then the 8 repeat in row 9. Whenever you see that situation, you know you can solve all 3 cells. 2 of the candidates are in one row, and then one of those is repeated, because you know this has to be your 7 now. That's going to be the 6, and then the 8's got to be up there. Awesome. All right, let's remove all of these colors, and let's see what this does for us, because there's still plenty of solves to go here. You got this far, we want to keep on going. This 7 displaced this Snyder 1. Whenever you displace a Snyder mark, we can solve the other cell for that. And this 7 is going to allow us to disambiguate the 2, 7 naked pair. I want to get rid of as many marks as possible. This 2 is going to allow us to disambiguate this 9, 2 naked pair, which displaces that Snyder 9, displacing that Snyder 5. Awesome. You see how that works? And this 5 is going to allow us to disambiguate the 1, 5 naked pair. This 2 is going to allow us to disambiguate the 1, 2 naked pair. See how that works? And now you got this 2 here, you got this 5 here, you got the 9 here. So we just got rid of the 2, 5, and 9. This has to be your 1 now. And so we can get rid of the 1, 2 here, and we can get rid, since we have this 1 and 2, we actually can keep going and go, that's got to be your 5, that's got to be your 9. I love this. Where can we go from here? Well, you can see you got an 8 cutting across, this 8 coming up. We know we can solve this cell now for an 8. Remove the 8 from there. The 7 cutting across means this has to be your 7 in block 6, leaving just a 6 right here. And so now we have a 6, 8 naked pair up here. What can we do about that? Well, I'm always going to go and see where's my greatest restriction. Row 5 has 8 cells filled out. So there's only one possibility left. That is a naked single 2. All right, so we can solve for the 2 right there. And then we can look up here and go, okay, I need a 6 or a 9. I can't solve the 6 or 9 yet, but I bet we're going to find a way to solve it here in just a second. So let's look and see, what did we do? What kind of marks did we make that we can now make some more eliminations here? Well, first of all, let's look at column 9. We need a 2, 6, or a 7. Well, I got my 6, 7 here. That means this has to be your 2, which displaces that Snyder 1. Awesome. And now with this 6, you know, this has got to be a 6 here, displacing that Snyder 7. So the 7's got to be up here now, which is going to displace that Snyder 7. You see, we're taking advantage of all those marks we made. I try to eliminate them as quickly as I can. We got a 2, 5 here, got my 2 right there. That's your 2, and that's your 5. Disambiguating the 1, 5 combo right there. And we know now that with these 2 1s and this 1, we can solve for a 1 right here. Okay, let's look down here. We got this 5. I want to see if I can take advantage of more marks. We sure can, because that displaces that Snyder 5 right there. We got a full house now, which is going to be a 9. Now we can disambiguate the 6, 9 right there. Okay, and with these 2 6s, I know this has to be a 6. Disambiguate the 8, 6 here, 8, 6 here. Clean up all those marks. I know this has got to be an 8, because I don't see an 8 in block 1. Displacing that Snyder 8. We can solve this cell for the 8, and the last digit is a 2. Check out this other Ashish puzzle that is equally irresistible. Thank you so much, Ashish, for letting me feature your puzzles on my channel. I love collaborating with you. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I want to thank you so much for watching.